Welcome everyone to the 35th Celebrity Synastry chart reading, where I will be looking into the Weeknd and Bella Hadid. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Adeline. I look at the dynamic between two celebrities using astrology, specifically Synastry. For those new and returning, I take notes on a Synastry chart looking at the personal planets, signs, aspects, and of birth times available house overlays. I share these notes and add my extra insights and interpretations along the way. And of course, as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below and let's get a discussion going. So if that sounds good to you, like, subscribe, and keep on watching. Starting off with the sun, we have Abel's sun in Aquarius and Bella's sun in Libra. They are good friends and are both social and active. They share humanitarian interests and they see each other as an intellectual partner. Abel sees Bella as superficial. I mean, it's not surprisingly so, like just with the industry and career she's in. Bella wishes Abel was more affectionate. Abel's sun overlaid in Bella's 6th house. They are productive together. Abel is submissive. Work is a strong theme here, and it's a boss-assistant relationship. Bella's sun overlaid in Abel's 4th house. There's a sense of familiarity. Abel trusts Bella deeply. There's a strong desire to live together and Abel feels very secure around Bella. Bella feels they belong together and she's very protective of him. They are both committed to each other. Abel's sun square Bella's Pluto. It's love-hate. There's a strong magnetic connection. Both need to learn not to focus on their ego. Hard to remain just friends after. I don't believe they have remained friends just after either, so that kind of reflects well. They want to learn everything about the other. It's transformative and there are power struggles. They both want to be the dominant one, so it's from what we've seen so far, it seems like Bella seems to have that sort of dominance in the relationship, just because we saw that Abel was the more submissive one. Possibility to encourage the other's negative qualities. Possibility of an unhealthy obsession with the other. I mean, so far, we've just seen that they're very protective of each other and they trust each other, so I'm not sure where this will go. Both experience emotions they never felt before in a relationship. Bella's sun square Abel's Venus. Their views on the world clash. So I assume because we saw they share those humanitarian interests, I assume this would be in other ways, maybe like, politically. It's not as promising as it looks. That kind of reflects well as well, because I feel like at the time they were definitely the it couple. But obviously didn't last. Love can easily turn into hate, so I assume that's where the love-hate comes in. Arguments over money. Bella is selfishly ambitious. Bella, I hope we're going to see some changes because thus far she's not coming off the best. Bella strives to keep the relationship. I assume this would be because she feels they belong together and she is very protective of him, so I assume that's why she strives to do this. Both hope to find what they are looking for in the other. Bella's sun square Abel's Mars, sparks fly and there's a competitive nature. There's a tendency to interrupt each other. Individual egos create problems. We did see this before as well. Productive to work on a mutual goal. They both need to stop focusing on the details. Bella feels challenged by Abel's dominance. Okay, so there's a bit of like a power struggle here. Abel seems to be a bit switching back and forth. We haven't seen too much from Bella, except that they both want to be dominant, potentially why she feels challenged by Abel's dominance. But with Abel, we've seen a bit of both, so I wonder if we'll see a bit more in the reading as we go and see which one he leans towards. They need to respect each other's natural habits, and they over time get more annoyed with each other. Bella's sun square Abel's Saturn. Abel sacrifices his freedom. Bella is too sensitive to criticism. They both will mature. I mean, not surprisingly so. I feel like they weren't too young when they got together, I believe, when they were in the relationship. Both attempt to support each other and Abel tends to be too critical of Bella. Bella feels blocked and discouraged by Abel. Bella sees Abel as all the traditions she wants to overcome. Both need to really want this relationship to work. Yeah, I feel like that's what we're kind of seeing in this relationship. They do seem to like really feel they belong with each other, but at the same time, there's, like the power struggles and the criticism here we're seeing. And potentially, like going back to the beginning, how we saw Abel sees Bella as a bit too superficial, potentially that's where he's critical of her. Bella's sun square Abel's Neptune. Misunderstandings, delusions, and deceptions occur. They both glamorize each other, potentially why they stick out together for so long. Attraction is based on appearance. If Abel is critical of Bella for being too superficial, and this is a mutual attraction being based on appearance, Abel promises more than gives. Bella believes Abel is a soulmate, so she really feels like they're meant to be together. Abel eventually disappoints Bella. They both need to be clear about expectations. So now it's time for the moon. So we have Abel's moon in Scorpio and Bella's moon in Virgo. Abel has manipulative tendencies. Abel is loyal to a fault to Bella. Bella has difficulty understanding Abel. I mean, regarding the whole superficial thing, if that's why he's so critical of her, but he also really appreciates that about her, I assume that's where the confusion and the difficulty would be. Both have a tendency to be analytical with each other, potentially where the criticism can be rooted from. Abel's moon in Bella's third house. It's cooperative and friendly. Abel admires Bella's lifestyle, relaxed and productive. Abel is supportive of Bella's priorities. I wonder if this is a case of sort of like he likes her, but not necessarily her actions and her behavior. Because potentially he could just be wants to support her, but he's not necessarily too keen on what she actually does, if that makes sense. Bella enjoys Abel's company and thinks of him often. They don't irritate each other. I assume this would be initially because we saw that they over time get more annoyed with each other. They communicate well. Bella's moon in Abel's third house overlaid, so this is a repeated one, just inverted. So everything from before is emphasized and repeated, but also Bella admires Abel's lifestyle. Bella is supportive of Abel's priorities. Abel enjoys Bella's company and he thinks of Bella often. Abel's moon square Bella's Mars. It's a stormy relationship. They will both need to work out issues as they come. I definitely see that because if it is sort of like ego related issues, definitely, or criticism issues, that would definitely help to just get rid of it as you go on. Bella does not have the patience to connect with Abel's feelings. That's probably why she also has difficulty understanding Abel. Maybe that's why she doesn't have that patience. She finds it a bit too difficult, doesn't necessarily want to put in that maximum effort or however much effort she needs to put in for Abel's feelings. Emotional roller coaster, they're very reactive to each other. Possibility for codependency. So far we haven't seen anything really to indicate codependency, but we may see more. It's hard to relax together for them, which I see. It seems like they very much like each other, but at the same time, they seem to, be a bit irritated with each other. They do also seem to be a bit annoyed with each other. Bella's independence makes Abel feel insecure. I don't like Abel's sort of like confusion and conflicting feelings about it. It seems like her career. Her independence makes him feel insecure. He sees her as very superficial. It's not great. And at the same time, he also is very supportive of her priorities and everything and admires her lifestyle. Like, pick a side. Bella's moon are Trine and Abel's Mars. They're instinctively drawn to each other and there's a mutual attraction. It's a lively relationship. Not necessarily for the best. We saw the storminess and the emotional roller coaster before. Bella nurtures and feeds Abel's ego. The ego issue again. Both learn about the instincts and needs here. I'm not really surprised because so far from what I'm getting in this relationship, they both very much glamorize each other based on appearance, and they do seem to view each other quite highly, particularly on Bella's end. She sees Abel as a soulmate and sometimes someone she's like destined to be with, but that's not necessarily something that's going to overcome the other issues that they have, like the criticism and the ego issues that they have here. Doesn't seem like they're truly supporting each other either. So this relationship definitely feels like a good learning place. Abel teaches Bella to be brave and confident. Arguing is not uncommon, we've been seeing. Expressing feelings is spontaneous here, which I feel like would connect it. They're very reactive to each other, so they don't seem to have much of a filter around each other. Bella's moon are Trine Abel's Uranus. Both feel free to express themselves. Can be for the good and bad here. Abel is more open around Bella. Ideas of unconventional domestic setup bring them together. We have seen a couple times of like domestic notes in this reading, so I assume when they were together, like particularly in Bella's end, she seemed to take Abel very seriously. That was probably a conversation. They can cope with sudden changes together. There's a level of unpredictability we see again. Abel feels safe around Bella. This is going back to how she's very protective of him. Enjoy talking about social issues. So I assume, on the social and humanitarian level, they seem to be on the same page. Mutual friends may bring them together, not surprisingly, so they're in the same circles, I believe. Bella's moon are Trine Abel's Neptune. Bella picks up on Abel's needs, they inspire each other. Art is a shared interest and they sense each other's feelings. They share a sensitive and mystical worldview, mystical meaning, and they both uncover the other's blind spots. So going back to how they learn about the instincts and needs, like this definitely seems like it, I hope they did learn, but this relationship is definitely a good learning ground. Now for the intermission, this video is brought to you by me, my Etsy store, Adeline the Astrologer. If you ever watch this and think, hey, I would like her to read my Synastry chart, well, I will. I do personalized Synastry readings on my Etsy store, both basic and detailed. The basic one is very simple to understand. It's not overwhelming at all. It's pretty good for those that are beginners to astrology, just getting the head around astrology, or just as a fun gift idea. The detailed one is just like what I do on my channel, just a lot of insight and interpretation on your chart. So if you are interested in that and everything else astrology and tarot related, readings and gifts, then definitely check out my Etsy store. Links are below. I'm always releasing new things, so definitely check it out if you're interested. You can even just favorite the store just to show your support for free. Thanks for listening, and let's get back to the reading. So now it's time for Mercury. So I have Abel's Mercury in Aquarius and Bella's Mercury in Libra. These are both air signs. I probably should have said that in the beginning as well. They are both, their sun signs are both air signs too. They have abstract conversations and they both tend to be argumentative. We see again, intellectually stimulating, and they share detached and objective values. Abel's Mercury in Bella's 5th house. Abel is like the sun to Bella and Abel makes Bella's day. I see that. Like, she does seem to really like Abel and view him highly. Easy communication. This can be interpreted as they find it easy to talk to each other, because that is definitely true. It seems like they feel very free around each other. Probably a bit too free. They both encourage the other and it's not a boring relationship. We see again with the liveliness. Bella's Mercury in Abel's 3rd house overlaid. Bella is more chatty around Abel. Abel will enjoy conversations with Bella, and Bella enjoys long conversations with Abel. So it's nice that they have that intellectual rapport with each other. Abel's Mercury sextile Bella's Saturn. Bella helps Abel focus and he feels he can learn a lot from Bella. Yeah, as I've been saying, I'm not sure specifically what he would learn from just for her, but in this relationship, I feel like Abel should take a lot from this. They solve problems together, they have dry conversations, and it can be a good business partnership. Bella's Mercury square Abel's Jupiter, relationship that expands consciousness, promising more is a problem. Abel helps Bella go through hard times with optimism. There's a habit of interrupting. I'm not surprised. The communication is a bit iffy. Abel is frustrated with Bella's analytical approach to life. Bella does seem to be a bit more like detached, so to speak, in this relationship. From what we've seen, like they both are quite analytical with each other, but particularly on Bella's end, how she has difficulty understanding Abel's feelings because it seems like she doesn't have the patience to really connect with him in that way. Potentially because she is just a bit more analytical and less emotional. Abel may come off as holier than thou. He kind of does, doesn't he? Communication difficulties, yeah, as we've been seeing. Lack of understanding regarding each other's ideas. I do kind of see that, like, more so we haven't seen much on Bella's end for this, but particularly on Abel's end, I don't feel like he seems to really understand Bella's career. There's a strong mental and intellectual bond, I agree. Frequent misunderstandings, debates can turn into arguments, and they have different philosophical views. So it seems like socially, on a humanitarian level, they're pretty equal. But we did see that I believe their views of the world are quite different, and potentially this could be in a philosophical way. So now it's time for Venus. We have Abel's Venus in Capricorn and Bella's Venus in Virgo. These are both earth signs. It's a secure relationship. I see that in terms of, in this relationship, they are quite loyal to each other and they do want to stay with each other. Bella needs to let Abel have alone time. There's mutual respect and they're both initially reserved. It's a slow relationship, so I'm not sure how they met or like if they were friends before they met potentially, but that's there. I definitely see though from what we've seen, it seems like it would have taken them a slow time to eventually like part ways. They trust in each other, as we've seen before. Need to learn to not be critical of each other. That issue's coming up. Both are conservative with money. I will give it to them. I feel like it is not uncommon in these readings to see like they're both very wealthy. They can be excess and too generous with each other. In this reading, we really haven't seen much related to that. Abel's Venus overlaid in Bella's 5th house. Abel sees Bella as perfect and he is forgiving of Bella's faults. Bella appreciates the admiration from Abel. Bella may take advantage of Abel. we haven't really seen anything in this relationship to indicate that. Both are satisfied here. Bella's Venus overlaid in Abel's third house. Bella feels more comfortable around Abel. Bella makes Abel happy. They are good friends, and Bella sees Abel as easily approachable, easy and natural communication, and they trust each other. Abel's Venus conjunct Bella's Neptune. Abel is sensitive to Bella's needs. I think we have seen this before. Abel sees Bella as a soulmate. I'm really glad that that is a mutual feeling, because that would be awkward. Dreamy energy when they meet. Abel finds Bella very attractive. We keep seeing this. Abel may project his ideals onto Bella. Bella initially encourages Abel to have an idealized image of her. Over time, Bella may feel pressured to keep up with Abel's image of her. Bella may ghost Abel. I'm not sure how they ended things, but Abel needs to learn to look past Bella's faults. Abel, I just feel like his relationship, like with the views he has of Bella, I'm not a big fan of, because he seems to really glamorize her and like just, wow, she's this really attractive, beautiful girl. And he's not, doesn't seem super keen on her career, which is based off of the looks that he appreciates. So I'm not obsessed with this. Spiritual and magical meeting, and Bella is easily charmed by Abel. Bella's Venus, Trine Abel's Uranus. Relationship seems odd to outsiders. I'm not sure if they were seen as an odd couple at the time they were together. They enjoy experimenting together. They share unusual interests. Unconventional setup. We saw before, like, I mean, it was a bit different with the domestic, unconventional domestic setup. But, like, even with that, like, obviously there is something unconventional about the relationship and how they have set it up. There's an element of fate. Bella is drawn to Abel's unique qualities. It's not long-term yet. From what we've seen so far with, like, notes on the longevity of the relationship, it seems to be more short-term, like, more deteriorating factors. I don't think we've seen anything to indicate it would be long-term. Abel finds Bella charming and attractive. You know, I mean, the attractive thing we've seen before, but it's nice to see that they both see each other as charming. You know, there's a bit of equality in that. So now it's time for Mars. So we have Abel's Mars in Capricorn and Bella's Mars in Leo. Abel likes Bella's dominance. Okay, we're back to the power struggle thing, the power dynamic in their relationship. So we only saw the things and notes in the beginning with that one, but altogether it seems like Bella very much is the more dominant one, has the higher power in the relationship to some extent. Abel still seems to be a bit, They are loyal to each other. I've said that before, I really do see it. Bella softens Abel, and Bella doesn't appreciate Abel's pessimism. I assume this would be more related to the criticism, because we've seen a lot more of that on Abel's part, and we did see before how Abel does help Bella go through hard times with that optimism. So I assume this will be more related to the criticism and his analyticalness. Abel's Mars in Bella's 5th house overlaid. Abel likes to initiate dangerous activities. Abel seeks admiration from Bella. I'm not really surprised. Bella is flustered around Abel, going back to how she's easily charmed by Abel. Abel finds Bella childish and obnoxious, and there's possessive tendencies. We haven't seen anything with possessive tendencies, but I assume if they are quite loyal to each other, they would, you know, try to expect that of the other person, and try to maintain that standard. Bella's Mars in Abel's 2nd house overlaid. Bella triggers Abel's possessiveness. Okay, so that's where it comes from. Bella is patient with Abel. Abel is more materialistic in this relationship. Interesting. Maybe that's why he feels conflicted, just with the superficiality of Bella. I wonder if, like, naturally as a person, he doesn't really care about that stuff, but around Bella, he does. And maybe he feels a bit of conflict, because naturally he's not, like, really about the materialism and the superficiality. But around Bella, he is a bit more open to it potentially, and he's a bit conflicted within himself for that. Bella is sentimental with Abel. Bella treats Abel as an object. We've seen before how Bella uses Abel, I believe it was, or takes advantage of him. We've only seen those points. We haven't necessarily seen anything as to why or how she would do this. Abel tends to be more masculine in this relationship. Abel's Mars conjunct Bella's Jupiter. They're a lucky couple. There's healthy competition. They have lots of fun together, and Abel feels more energized by Bella, feels stronger as a team than by themselves. They encourage each other to engage in reckless behavior, particularly from Abel's end, seems like. Bella's Mars square Abel's Pluto. There's power struggles, not surprisingly so, and external influences challenge them. Bella's blunt nature triggers Abel's inner issues. Abel is a bit odd. We just saw before how Bella triggers Abel's possessiveness. I wonder potentially like if Abel has a bit of an issue with her having a bit more independence. Because I believe we did see he feels challenged by her independence. I wonder if her sort of sense of freedom with that, and her career as well, because that also seems to be an issue for him. I wonder if that is what triggers him potentially, because Bella does seem to be very much her own person in this relationship. Like, you know, she seems to stand her own ground, be a bit more assertive. So I wonder if that whole thing with Bella potentially triggers Abel and makes him a bit more possessive because he seems to want to take a hold of her, if that makes sense. Dig into each other's psyche. I think we did see before how they both uncover the other's blind spots, so it makes sense. It's a brutal transformation and they need to deal with their own issues instead of fighting each other. I agree, like especially the whole ego problems we saw in the beginning, they need to deal with that themselves rather than taking it out on each other. So that was the final aspect. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, give this video a like, and if you want to see more from me, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you get notified as soon as I upload. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say today. I will see you guys next time. Bye!